Hello, hello. On this podcast, in a Pup in the Life, where we tend to bark quite a lot, as you can hear from our end. Walking once again in the streets. We have some roadworks around here, so it's been pretty wild. Not a lot of cars, but still lots of people going in and just being here. And after travels, this is the day. This is what we're doing. So, the episode of today. Today was quite an interesting day at work, where we have basically had all our sure things just have been blown out. I'm kidding. But there were many ups and downs. Mostly downs, or actually, let's say, turns, unexpected turns of things. And this is the podcast of today, which is that negotiation and in general things are never over until they are really over. Now, why am I talking about this? I'm going to tell you why. And at the moment in which we are recording this podcast, this thing is not over yet. So basically, Mom was we found a lead. Very, very interesting project. Very, very interesting company. Amazing company in the software space, with a founder that was really enlightened, with great connections that were shared, and in general, like really, really, really people that she was very in connection with. And so she randomly had this call with this person, just found out that potentially they could be interesting in the platform, in the product in general. Not really so much for a direct sales type of conversation. It was more like, okay, let me tell you what you do. I'm telling to tell you what I do. And that was about it. So they were interested. And so, they start speaking. They start sharing thoughts. And at some point, Mom says, okay, like, listen, I will introduce you to my team, and then you will decide what to do. So she introduces the team to these people. First off was a call, like a strategy session, and then second was a demo. And both sides of the team just come out of the call like enthusiastic and saying, oh my God, like this guy is really amazing. It's already sold. It doesn't even matter to send them like some precise strategy for closing them or pricing or whatnot. Like this guy is really into the thing, and that's an amazing case study for us. And so let's go right into that. Even maybe shrink our margins a little bit. It was a strategic type of thing, and Mom really made sure that he knew about it because it's true. In the end, if you think that they're useful, just tell them. People are gonna appreciate at some point. Maybe they don't believe you and they think you're just trying to flatter them, but if it's true, just tell them. Why not telling them, right? So at that point in time, she sends the offer, and the guy just disappears for a week. And to be honest, like it's not weird. Like it can happen sometimes. No, it's not totally weird. And so the thing is, cool, okay. Have you changed your mind? Like this is the message that Mom was sending out. Have you changed your mind? And the guy goes on to say, hey, maybe we don't have the capacity to do this now. Even like for the platform, we might want to try a tinier version, whatnot. Maybe not the bigger one, the enterprise one. And so Mom was like, okay, like if you really think that this guy is the man and it's very useful for us to have a relationship with them as a company, and you think that he can change somehow the trajectory of what we're doing, what we're offering to other clients as well, and for many other reasons as well, just try and understand what's the real objection behind it. And Mom was very, very adamant about it. And she's like, what's the other reason, rather than price, that is impeding you to, go on with this deal? And the guy's like, no, it's actually the price. And someone was like, okay, price is always solvable in terms of the fact that if you can lower it down on make it even higher. And if you can and you want to do it, you're totally okay to do it. There is no philosophy against it. There is no practical reasoning and evidence behind the fact that if you don't sell, it's going to be a problem. And at the same token, if you don't want to solve it, then for next time you want to lower the price. We already talked about pricing earlier on, and you are going to say, well, okay, it's going to go for next time. Maybe not the right kind, maybe not the right timing or right fit or blah, blah, blah. So at some point, she can get on the call with him. So they have a call, and literally the reason was price. So mom was trying to understand what, as a close loss, because that's what we were thinking about, really a close loss of the transaction. She's like, okay, like let me understand what we can do. And so the guy really lays it all out, says, okay, I was expecting to pay this, and that, and you can believe them or not believe them, it doesn't matter. And so mom circled back again with her team and said, hey, listen, how can we make it work for this guy? Because we think we need him. And so at this moment at which we are recording this podcast, I still don't know if mom's team can work it out all together with mom or not. But what I can tell you is that surely this thing was actually thought as closed, but it's actually not. And it's true that you, as a general rule, you might understand that the thing is closed only if the people sign. And it's quite easy to say this. But at the same time, once you start selling quite a lot in your life, you get to understand that, people have vibes. So you can understand if they are, at the right moment to receive a proposal, if what's the price they're willing to pay, how are they feeling about the product, etc., etc., etc. And so there are many factors at play. The thing that is clear is that everybody in the company, and I mean everybody in the company, was having an amazing feeling around the overall project. The price was not price. It was a high price, to be honest, for the type of service. But then again, it probably was the fair price in the mind of the team. But at the same token, you don't know until you know what's the exact thing that's holding them back. And in the end, you will never know. And so the thing is, in the spirit of making it better and better and better and better for the company, what we take out today is that we will try and find a way to work with this lead because we like him. But at the same token, at least for now, maybe we were wrong, but to be honest, I don't really think it. I was overhearing the calls, and to be honest, guy was pretty fun as well. But the thing is that it's not over until it's really over. And even when it's really over, sometimes it's just bad timing. And so it takes more time. That's also why you need to have more leads. You need to, stress it out a little bit and really get to talk to people and really get to do much more contacts than the ones that you do already. And so the thing is, it's not over until it's over for real. And this is also true for negotiations. And at the same token, in the very worst of the cases, if this person doesn't buy, it's not the end of the world. People don't buy services all the time, so not surprising. But at the same token, you can just be thinking that in the mind of your teammates, of your people in the team, there might be just a way to see that they are maybe deception, maybe they're sad, maybe they're down somehow because the thing didn't go through. Maybe mom is sad for a monetary reason or for a strategic reason. They might be sad because they really like the guy and they were actually believing for real, and they were in total conviction of the transaction. And so this gives us, and it will give you every time, the ability, once you can ask to a customer, to a lead, why didn't they buy? Why is that the reason why they didn't do it? And it doesn't, it's, of course, they are not going to give you all the time the right answer. They're not going to bomb you out with the truth, because that's not what we as customers and everybody does. We can find excuses, we can find ways. Mom personally tends to be very, very sincere when this happens, because, to be honest, why not? Like, put yourself in the salesperson shoes and and that's fine. But the world is not perfect in that sense, and people and humans are not 100% rational. So that's totally normal that that doesn't happen. But then you get good to understand really who is telling you the truth and who doesn't. In this case, the guy was probably really telling us the truth, and hence all the let's try and reverse engineer what the guy wants and what's the real problem there, and try to give him as much as humanly possible to solve his pain points, because in the end he'll be grateful and we could potentially even work better than what it was before with initial offer. So this is the podcast of the day. It's never over until it's over. Please be able to understand how to get feedback that's useful from people that you think feedback is useful, and maybe even get a habit of asking why. A close lost is sometimes the next close one. Okay, this probably potentially could be the title of this podcast. Yeah. Okay, so we are preparing for dinner tonight, so I will try and pick some wine with mom. And for now, I will send you kisses, hugs, and a bit of barks. Don't give up. It's not over.